Hi, this is Beverly Ann Freeman, and today we're talking about how to tune into your inner compass. Now, on a regular compass, the compass always points to true north. When we talk about our inner compass, the inner compass always points to God or source energy because that is the natural direction, the natural flow of energy. So, when you're following your inner compass, what you're really doing is you're being guided by God and in alignment to your soul's plan. Now, just to explain what your soul's plan is, your soul's plan was the blueprint that you decided that you would follow, the map that you put together for yourself before you were born. And you did this with a few things in mind. One of the things that you had in mind was that you were going to learn and grow as a soul. And the way you were going to do that was going to be through having this human experience in a very physical life form, in a very physical world. And by allowing yourself to experience this physical element of who you are, you were able to grow and develop the soul. It's a practice that souls volunteer to experience, and it is a practice which souls will develop and grow many times during the soul's infinite lifetime and infinite experience. When you tune into your inner compass, it will allow your life to flow. And if you follow the natural path of energy, which is always guided in the direction of God and in alignment to your blueprint, your life will be easier. Now, if you choose not to listen to your inner compass, and if you always use your mind, what happens with that is your mind can always assess the present moment. Your mind uses logic, and your mind is really a survival tool. So if something is happening in the present moment, your mind will assess the current situation and it will logically produce the best solution to any given experience in that moment, which is great when you need to act or think quickly, or you're in doing mode. So, for example, you're driving to work or you're brushing your teeth. The mind knows exactly how to react to situations in any given moment. However, when you tune into your inner compass, you're really tuning into your soul plan and God and your heart. And these things are more in alignment with the long term plan, the experience, the life lessons. So, when you use this as your point of direction, what happens is you allow yourself and your soul to flow with the natural energy, and therefore you're more in alignment with what's to come. If you always make your decisions based on your mind and your logic, you will have a tendency to do whatever is right in that moment. But then when you look back on things, you will realize that the way you have moved into your life and the way the flow of energy has gone has been a pattern that actually one thing always leads on to another. And if you'd have only tuned into the inner compass, then there would have been least resistance. And as I'm sure you know, following the path of least resistance is always the easier path, it's always the flow. Now, if you go with the flow, which is also a common saying, you will find that having less resistance in your life will actually encourage more openness, more growth, more positive experience of this life experience that you're having. That's why tuning into your inner compass is a really good practice to have. And it's similar to when people come to me for a psychic reading. All I'm doing really is tuning into your soul, your blueprint, and I'm giving you the information that actually your inner compass is wanting to talk to you about and scream at you. But of course, sometimes we're unable to see what's right in front of us, and this is also part of the human experience. When you ask people, what do you want in life? Most people tend to say, I just want to be happy. But what you've got to look at is, what does happiness look like for you? What does it look like? What is your definition of happiness? What have you not got in your life at this moment that is not creating happiness, or creating a lack of the perception of unhappiness? Because actually, when you do stay in the present moment and you assess your life, you will realize that there is not a lot of unhappiness. It's only your perception of how things look. So there are two things that can really help you to follow your inner compass. The first thing is your perception of where you are at the moment, okay? And your perception of what happiness looks like. And to obtain something, you have to have an idea of what that is. So the first thing to do really is to sit down and write your version of what you think happiness should look like, your happiness in your life, because it's different for everyone. Then you need to do a short practice, which is about tuning in to your blueprint, to your soul, and allowing yourself to see where the flow of energy is really showing you, and what life is showing you, and what is showing you the next thing. Now, it's important to understand that your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. So, how you're feeling and how you're perceiving and what you're giving out into the universe is like a mirror for your life. So, if you feel that externally your life isn't exactly as you want it to be, then the best thing to do is to work on how you feel, how you perceive, and what makes you happy. Because as soon as you start to work on these things, and there may be some areas of these elements that need a healing process, so it might not all just fall into place immediately, but if you start to look at these things, then you will start to create a world around you which is looking a little bit more like the version of happiness that you wrote on your piece of paper. If we always define our happiness based on external things, we may find that we're always discontented. So, for example, if we say, what does happiness look like to you? And you say, happiness to me looks like having a beautiful house, a gorgeous family, a nice car, a good job, all my bills are paid, I want holidays 3-4 times a year, I want nice clothes, I want shoes, handbags. Maybe you want something even more than that. Maybe you want your own private jet. There's nothing wrong with dreams and wishes, and there's nothing wrong with being able to see what you've achieved in your life. But the true essence of happiness will be internal. They won't be external things or external objects or material things, because once you have all those things, you may find that you're still not truly happy. Because material things will only suffice a perceived happiness for a period of time. And then what happens is we get bored of those objects, and they become, well, we take them for granted. And it's actually the attainment and the perception of the attainment which creates the illusion that they're going to make us happy. But when we get them into our lives, we realize that happiness is actually more about inner peace and not external objects or things. So, what you really need to work on here is this sense of creating your own inner world in alignment with true happiness. And it might sound complicated, but actually it's very simple. The first step to understanding and creating the inner world and the peace with the inner world is really to understand what you have now and to feel lucky and grateful and content with the things that you have now. Because if you're grateful for what you have now, then you're not demonstrating a lack of anything, because you understand that you have your basic needs met. So do you have a roof over your head? Do you have clothes to wear? Do you have shoes on your feet? Do you have food in your cupboards? Do you have love in your life? Do you have yourself? Do you have your health? These are the really simple, basic things in life that we should be grateful for. If you can understand that, though, that you're grateful for those things and that you are truly grateful for those things, and there might be some elements there. So, for example, health, you might not have perfect health, but you might have near perfect health, and you might be able to be grateful for the fact that you can see, or you can hear, or you can walk. And there are people out there that don't have those opportunities, but they have other things. We always have something else that we can be grateful for and that we can be happy about. And the more you understand that, and the more grateful you are for those basic things and those basic needs, the more you are healing within you a need for extra things in your life. So you're healing the lack and you're filling it with a message of love and understanding that actually I'm really grateful for the things I've got in my life. The other thing that you're doing is you're sending a message out to the universe, and the universe wants an energy vibration. So if you send your energy vibration out into the universe with this beautiful message of I'm so grateful for everything that I have now, the universe reciprocates by sending back to you more and more and more of what you're grateful for. So remember that if you're projecting a lack of, so you're saying, I need more money, I need to lose weight, I wish I was healthier, I'd like a bigger house, I want a better car, my relationship is rubbish, I have no friends. If you're sending that message out into the universe, you're going to create more and more and more of those things. And it is a simple truth. Now, you might only have one friend, or you might only have one experience of a friend, and that person might not be with you anymore. But what you have to be grateful for is what you have got and what you have had. And you can say, my friend passed away, but at least I had that friend in my life, and so I'm grateful that I had that experience. Rather than focusing on the fact that my friend has gone and now I'm alone, you have to focus on what you were grateful for, and that was to have the experience in the first place. So being grateful and sending out that message of love to yourself first, always to yourself first, and secondly, out into the universe, is really truly a way of becoming true north on your compass and becoming in alignment with God and God source energy. And that's the creative life force that exists within us and within everything. So to really start to work with your inner compass, the first thing you need to do is go true north. So go to source, connect with source energy. The second thing you need to do is to ask yourself, what does happiness look like for you? And you need to write that down. And then the third thing we need to learn is a practice called tuning into your inner compass, which I'm just going to do with you now. And it's a simple practice, and it isn't a long practice, but it does involve just taking a moment to be quiet in your own mind, and just to take a minute, really just to tune into your heart and your blueprint and to understand that. Now, you can do this with anything. So, if you have a question, and it could be about relationships or career, it could be a health issue, and you might want to know how to heal that, then the best thing to do is to really ask yourself that question within this short meditation, within this process that we're going to do together. So, just for a moment, think about maybe one question to start with. What is it you want to tune into your inner compass? Because you know, your inner compass, your blueprint, has all the answers to anything you've ever wanted to ask about yourself or your life. There's something to remember when we do this. We can only focus on ourselves and our own direction. We can't affect anybody else's life. We can't control anybody else's behaviour. We can't make somebody behave in a certain way. The only thing we can do is to truly tune in and focus on what is in alignment with us and our blueprint and our human experience that we're having at this moment in time. If it's a relationship, just remember that you can't ever get a person to love you in a different way than they know how to. And that will never ever happen. All you can do is choose whether you want that person in your life or not. It's a choice that you have. And so when you tune into your inner compass and it's about a relationship issue, your heart, your blueprint can tell you whether this is a good choice for you. Is choosing to be in this relationship with this person a good choice for me? Is it serving me well? Is it fulfilling my heart and my soul and taking me to where I need to be? Because your inner compass can't say to you, well, if you just tweak it a little bit, this person might start loving you in a different way, because that's not how it happens. When you look at career choices, you have to say to yourself, is this career path that I'm taking right now, is it filling me with joy and love? Is it making me feel worthy and fulfilling my purpose? And your inner compass will always, always give you the answer. So we're just going to do a short practice, and I want you to just think about an intention for this practice before we start. Just think about one question that you are lacking direction on in the conscious mind, and we're going to go to the subconscious, to the blueprint, to the soul, to the heart, to God, and we're going to ask the question, and we're going to see what the answer is, and the answer will come. And once the answer has come, then you're going to have to stick with that, because there is only one answer, and it's always the first answer that we get. And what I would suggest is that you don't keep asking the same question over and over again, because you ask it once, you get your answer, and that is the answer. There is no second answers or what ifs or buts, or there's just that one answer, and you have to accept it. So you acknowledge what you want to ask, and then when you get the answer, you accept that that is the one and true answer that is completely in alignment with your soul and your blueprint. And so we'll just begin, and I want you to just find somewhere quiet for 5 minutes just to relax. Close your eyes. Just allow the body to relax, and I want you to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And I want you to breathe in for 2. 1, 2. Hold. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. I want you to see yourself as a vision of light. You're just light. Your body, your outer shell is still there, but I want you to raise above the body. I want you to feel yourself as you truly are, which is a vision of light, an extension of Source. I want you to know that you shine brightly. There is nothing in your being that is not unconditional love. And as you come to this realization, I want you to know that because you are unconditional love, you are not outside of love. There is nothing within you which is outside of love. And therefore, as you give yourself unconditional love, you are simply remembering who you truly are. And I want you to ask your question now. Just ask your question. Listen to the answer. Listen. Just listen to your answer. Allow that vision of yourself as light and unconditional love to just return back to your body. And as it does, just feel that peace and that tranquility, that love there that's within you. And that's it. That is tuning in to your inner compass, your inner being. That's the process. And it starts with recognizing that you are true light and unconditional love, that you are an extension of Source energy, and that you are nothing outside of that. And that your body and your mind are physical elements of the human experience which you are having right now. And when you allow yourself to see things from a higher perspective, true magic and miracles start to happen in your life. So I'll just leave you now and allow you to move forward in practicing how to tune in to your inner compass. Namaste.